The large field of faces has been trimmed to a fortunate few, still challenging for the 1993 driving championship. Throughout the season, they have battled the strongest competition and toughest tracks. Now, the men of the Firestone Firehawk Endurance Championship and the Bridgestone Supercar Series face one more test. Sebring International Raceway, trying to achieve the prestigious title of 1993 driving champion. Welcome to the season finale of the Firestone Firehawk Endurance Championship and the Bridgestone Supercar Series. And Dorsey, two very good races.
Well, the Bridgestone Supercar Championship, it's normal 30-minute sprint race, but the Firestone Firehawk, a 12-hour endurance event. Unlike a 24-hour event, this is the cap of a season. There's a championship to be decided. It's going to be a sprint, 12 hours.
And in the Bridgestone race, Hans Stuck coming here to Florida looking to clinch his first driving championship in that series. We'll have all the action from Florida, plus a look at the postseason awards banquet coming up in this half hour here on TNN.
Well, Hans Stuck came to Sebring to clinch his very first ever Bridgestone Supercar Championship. And he and his Porsche have become so dominant at the second part of this season that all he had to do was show up to win that championship. But for the rest of the competitors, it was the final race of the season, and an important one it was.
Hans Stuck came to Sebring with a commanding lead in the point race over defending series champion Doc Bundy. In fact, Stuck actually had an opportunity to clinch the championship in qualifying. But just after the Bridgestone qualifying session began, heavy rain forced qualifying to be canceled, and the field was lined up on times recorded during earlier practice sessions. That put Stuck on the pole with the fastest time in practice, and the field rolled out onto the 3.7-mile track for the final race of the 1993 season. Starter Jim Sidley waved the green flag, and Stuck pulled the field down the front stretch and into the first turn. The moment Stuck crossed the starting line, he clinched the 1993 Bridgestone Supercar driving title by earning his 8 bonus points awarded to all drivers who have competed in every supercar event this season. Hans had his first American driving title and the lead in this race, a lead he never surrendered. He was chased in the early laps by David Donahue in a BMW, while Peter Farrell in a Mazda and Nick Ham in a Porsche battled for third. Sean Rowe's strong season suffered a disappointing setback on the first lap. Trapped in traffic, he impacted the inside wall along the front stretch. Stuck was determined to finish the season just where he'd spent most of the summer, in front. Donahue was having his best run of 1993, holding down second and trying to track down the Porsche. Mike Gagliardo's Pontiac started 14th, but quickly found its way to run with the leaders. As the laps roared by, Hans continued to hold the lead, but some of his competition began to fall from the race. Nick Ham's up and down year ended against the turn 1 wall after he got together with Gagliardo. Ham's Kelly Moss Porsche took the heavy hit, and Gagliardo's Pontiac retired with a broken axle. Back up front, Donahue continued his pursuit of Stuck, but lost some valuable time when his BMW spun. Still, Donahue was able to keep his composure and his position, and resumed his race with Farrell running third, Haywood fourth in his Brumos Porsche, and Jared Freeman fifth, also driving a Porsche. 21 minutes into the scheduled 30-minute event, Freeman and Doc Bundy crashed near turn 7. Both cars were heavily damaged. Freeman and Bundy received medical attention, but both were okay. The accident put the field under a full course caution, and the situation required race officials to end the event 2 minutes early, with Stuck taking the checkers and David Donahue finishing second, his highest finish in his Bridgestone Supercar career. Peter Farrell took home third place. Stuck clinched the championship in his first full season of supercar competition, tallying 212 points. He won a record 7 consecutive races and took 10 consecutive poles dating back to last season. Bundy took second in the point race over Lotus teammate Andy Pilgrim by virtue of his win at the season opener in Miami. Hans, congratulations, 1993 Supercar champion.
Thank you. It means quite a lot to me. It's my first American championship. It's my 4th overall in 24 years of motorsport. And I'm very happy because it might have looked sometimes much easier than it actually was. But you had to put your things together and drive the car, set it up and do everything. So in the end, I'm very happy now.
You really did dominate on the track this season. You must be very proud of your work and the work of the team behind you.
Exactly. It took me quite a while to get used to the tires. I mean, those are some very exciting tires. They improved during the year. That a street car tire can do this at all is a miracle. So, but you couldn't set your car to the tire, you know. You had to adapt yourself to the tire. That's what it made all about. So after every race, I got more used to the tire, how to drive it, to go smooth and everything. That made it all.
We've just been working like crazy, all the guys at the shop and in England. The people built the cars, BMW has been great. And it's just nice to end off the year like this.
Well, 12 hours of racing around Sebring is really an endurance contest, no question about that. Big problem here. All 3 championships of the Firestone Firehawk are yet to be decided. So how do you play your cards? You want to win the championship, but 12 hours is tough on a race car, and it proved to be a really good race for the last race of this season.
Rain washed out qualifying runs for all 3 divisions of the Firestone Firehawk Endurance Championship, robbing Larry Schumacher of the opportunity to pick up the 1 point awarded for winning the pole. That 1 point would have allowed him to tie his co-driver Doug Goad and share the 1993 Grand Sports Driving Championship.
Honestly, I can say that Doug has been very generous about it, and I don't think that he felt the least bit jealous of the fact that I was going to get an opportunity to tie him. So there's certainly no animosity on this team, I guarantee you that. I'm disappointed, but only in the second year in this series to wind up second, 1 point from first, is probably not too terribly bad.
Under ideal conditions, a 79-car field rolled out onto the Sebring track for the 12 hours of racing. Jim Sidley waved the green flag for the final time in 1993, and the field flew down the front stretch and into turn 1. During the early hours, several cars battled for the race lead in the Grand Sports Division, with the Porsche of David Murray and the Pontiacs of John Wall Sr. and R.K. Smith emerging as the front-runners. Doug Goad clinched the Grand Sports Driving title 90 minutes into the race when he committed to the same Firebird started by his teammate Larry Schumacher. In the sports division, the Mazda RX-7 carried the championship chances of Joe Danaher. Like all the contenders, Danaher was being patient, waiting to find the ride with the best shot at a good finish before climbing in. Meanwhile, his car owner and co-driver Peter Farrell was ineligible for this race, stemming from a disqualification earlier in the season. But Farrell was still mathematically alive for the championship. The TC Klein prepared Hondas were hoping to carry veteran drivers Randy Popst and Peter Schwartzat to the sports division title, but this team planned to put the co-drivers in different cars to protect the team's chances of winning the championship. Schwartzat and Popst waited till late in the day to make their move. In the touring division, John Green spent the day helping to fuel his championship chances from the pits. He needed just 1 point to clinch his first driving crown. Green's title hopes were riding in the twin 38 and 31 Hondas with an army of veteran drivers as support, including Terry Earwood and Dorsey Schrader, Bob Henderson, and Norris Rancourt. As the race roared on, top teamwork and talented co-drivers kept every challenger in contention. The Porsche of David Murray and Sean Hendricks continued to lead in Grand Sports with a parade of Pontiacs in pursuit. The tight battle for the championship in the sports division put a new spin on attacking the 12-hour endurance race. This year, it was more than just surviving. Challengers were forced to race their division rivals. While on touring, the 38 and 31 Hondas needed a simple 10th place finish, but were running first and second, battling with the 89 Honda. Lance Stewart had enjoyed a fine season, sharing 3 wins with co-driver Mitch Payton and coming to Sebring with a slim chance at the championship. But as the hours went by, Stewart's hopes dwindled as the Caribbean Motorsports team ran into rare problems, slipped back in the field, and fell from contention. As the lap zipped by, the toll of a 12-hour test started to show. Chris Kraft suffered a broken brake line, which left his Mustang on the tires in turn 7. This Honda Prelude rolled following a run-in with a tire wall in turn 10, but the car was righted, repaired, and eventually rejoined the race. Co-drivers Jason Potter, Hank Mountain, and Paul Gerard finished 18th in the touring division. Strange things happened in the 12-hour endurance race. For example, the racing was even intense between team cars. A miscommunication on a passing move between these 2 team Pontiacs sent the 69 car for a loop. The 08 Porsche was running second in the Grand Sports division, but coming through turn 16, Nick Ham tagged the Camaro of Jim McCallion, sending both cars spinning. Ham continued in the Porsche, but the Camaro would not refire. It sat in the racing groove for more than 8 minutes, creating a new obstacle on this already tricky track before a full course yellow permitted a tow. The Mazda RX-7 team, which had been so strong in the sports division most of the season, was wilting in the late summer heat. The 16 car lasted just 59 laps before retiring with a mechanical problem. The 61 car ended up against the wall in turn 6, minus a wheel. As the afternoon turned to evening, the championship picture started to come into sharp focus. Joe Danaher, a Mazda man all season, was suddenly without an RX-7. So he turned to his former teammates in the Hacker 00 Oldsmobile to try and make his run at the Sports Division Championship. The Oldsmobile was running 6th at the time. Danaher could clinch the Sports Division Championship with a 2nd place finish. With bad weather moving in, Peter Schwartzat made his move. Jumping into the 62 Honda Prelude VTEC, crew chief Kurt Baker had turned this car into a threat at mid-season, and this week, running under the TC Klein banner with Baker as crew chief, the car was 2nd in sports. With 4 hours remaining, John Green committed to the 38 Honda to take him to the touring title. Co-drivers Terry Earwood and Mark Hine had done their job. The 38 car was the division leader. Randy Popes made his choice with just over 3 hours remaining, the number 21 Honda Prelude VTEC. Popes and Schwartzat, a successful team all season long, could no longer share the championship, but they were running together on the track, with Popes leading and Schwartzat 2nd, 1 lap down. In Grand Sports, Go had the championship locked up, but was not part of the fight for first. It was all Porsche. The 82 of David Murray and Sean Hendricks took the lead on lap 58 and amazingly led 169 of the last 193 laps. Along with the darkness came racing's most feared enemy, heavy rain. The rain, water pooling on the track, and a 2-car incident in turn 17 led to a 64-minute full course caution. During the caution, several cars pitted, including the top 2 in the sports division. Popes took fuel and full tread tires for his front wheels. Schwartzat took fuel and 4 full tread tires to help battle the rain. The race went green with just under 2 hours remaining. The rain started coming down harder, and Popes was the next victim of the demanding Sebring track. He crashed his Honda while leading the race, ending his chances of another driving championship.
Well, we had 2 full tread Firestones, and we should have had 4 full tread Firestones. That's really what it came down to. Around a fast sweeper over here, the rears they were just the shave tires, and the fronts were the full tread. And the rears got over the limit, and they hydroplaned, and bang, gone, just like that. We should have put 4 of them on.
With his teammate out of the race, 54-year-old Peter Schwartzat, an art professor at the State University of New York in Buffalo, inherited the lead. Danaher needed the 00 car to finish 2nd, but his hopes were fading. Boris Said had taken over the wheel of the number 12 Honda Prelude, a sister car to Schwartzat, and along with co-drivers Shane Lewis and Howie Liebengood, Said and the Honda had soared into 2nd, while the number 70 Mitsubishi was running 3rd and the 00 was 4th. The rain stopped for the final hour of the race. The 82 Porsche led Grand Sports by almost a minute. With Schwartzhoff waiting along pit road, Mike Galati had taken over the driving duties of the 62 Honda that would carry Schwartzhoff to the championship.
I drove off on purpose. I knew I had to give it to Peter.
I know, it was only fair, Randy.
I'm going to drive right into the wall here and let Schwartz on have it. I love him. He loves it.
After 12 hours, 2 minutes, and 33 seconds, the checkered flag waved for the 82 Porsche, winning the Grand Sports division. The TC Klein team celebrated a championship for Schwartzhoff as Galati brought the 62 Honda home in first place in the sports division. And John Green won his first driving championship as the 38 Honda won the touring division by more than a lap.
It was great. You know, Lloyd has this red car, and it used to be a turbo car a long time ago, and they really worked on it, got it going, and we've had a lot of luck with it. And he thought, well, we're going to buy a Club Sport car. Bought that. We thought that was going to be the better car, and she just likes to keep coming back to the prom. So we can't complain. This has been old reliable every time.
Randy and I, had we been in the same car, there wasn't enough. The odds were too risky to go with it that direction, so we had to get in different cars. And the rain, as you know, on this track is the most difficult track to drive in the rain, probably of any in the world. It puddles up, no drainage, and Randy had a bad time and lost the car, and too bad, but he ran all season with me, of course, and it's the reason we won the championship. Randy and I look at it as co-championship.
It's been about 9 years I've been working at this. I've been second a couple times, third a few times in the point standings, and Mark Hine called me up one day a year ago and asked me if I'd drive for him. It's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. So I owe it all to TI Racing.
Last Sunday afternoon, the competitors from the Firestone Firehawk Series and the Bridgestone Supercar Series gathered at the beautiful Dolphin Resort Hotel at the Disney World Entertainment Complex in Orlando, Florida. The 1993 champions were honored and the postseason awards were handed out. Following the ceremonies, we had a chance to congratulate 1993 Firehawk Grand Sports champion Doug Gove.
It's been about 8 years now. I've been working towards this accomplishment, and we finally got it. And 1993 has been a fantastic season for myself, for my co-driver Larry Schumacher, and for the whole Jake's Team Pontiac group. It's been great.
We talked to Larry after qualifying got rained out. Obviously, he was heartbroken, and actually the whole team looked a little down. I know you guys were really geared up to make a run for him.
I think so. It was the plan going for 2 months prior to that race that Larry was going to get the pole and we were going to share the championship. And for him not to even get the shot at it, it was the biggest heartbreak of the whole thing. The weather took it away from him. The weather played a big part in my getting the pole the very first race of this year at Sebring. And I guess that's just the breaks of the game. Motorsports is that way.
Well, that concludes our coverage of the Firestone Firehawk Endurance Championship and the Bridgestone Supercar Series here in 1993. Our congratulations to all the drivers and our thanks to all of the crews for their support throughout the season.
And to the race officials who put on these fine events every week, and most of all to the corner workers that keep it a safe sport.
And congratulations to a member of our team, photographer Pat Berger. Pat's been with us for many years, a backbone of our crew. He's getting married today in Charlotte, North Carolina, to his fiancée, Cammie Ritchie. Congratulations to both of you. Dorsey, did you pick up the gift?
I thought you were picking up the gift.
No, you're supposed to pick up the gift.
Oh, no, I'm out of here.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you later this weekend on Inside Winston Cup Racing.
Transportation provided by Winnebago Industries, manufacturer of the world-famous Winnebago and Itasca motorhomes and the Winnebago conversion vans. For information on how you can join the Winnebago Motorsports team, call 1-800-643-4892. Communications for the Firehawk television crew provided by Racing Radios, Forest Park, Georgia. Racing Radios, the official communications of IMSA.